Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Beau Oliver and today I will be reviewing the latest episode of Attack on Titan Season 4, Assassin's Bullet. This episode begins with the rematch of the century between Eren's Attack Titan and Reiner's Armor Titan. Unfortunately, the fight immediately ends after Eren one-pieces Reiner in the fucking jaw, which should have been expected. Reiner barely has the will to live, let alone the will to fight, and it was a miracle he was even able to transform in this moment. He uses the last bit of strength he has to give Gabi and Falco a chance to escape. Eren himself is also running low on electrolytes after last week's battle, and he admits at this point that he can't exactly kill Reiner, so he and Mikasa make their escape back to the airship. The scouts aren't too happy to see Eren upon his return, with the lone exception being his childhood friend Armin. Armin extends his hand to help Eren aboard the airship, and the hearts of anime fans everywhere grew 3 sizes in this moment. How the tables have turned from the earlier days of Eren reaching out to save Armin from the clutches of a Titan's jaw, to now Armin, once a skittish and helpless kid, standing over his friend with the poise and swagger of a natural leader. There was no hesitation by Eren to save Armin in Season 1, sacrificing his own life at the time for the life of his friend, yet in this moment, with no enemies or Titans in sight, it almost appears that Armin is hesitant to extend his hand. Maybe Armin is beginning to fear Eren. Up until the final scene of this latest episode, Eren has shown little remorse for the consequences of his actions, whereas Armin will be haunted by this destruction for the rest of his life. It's not only possible that Armin fears his friend, but that he believes Eren is doing more harm than good. For now, the bond between Eren and Armin hasn't been broken, but Eren's recklessness this season has lost him the trust of his fellow comrades. Levi welcomes Eren into the airship with a swift kick to the jaw and then quips that Eren's face is as kickable as ever. The reunion between these two characters plays out more like a fugitive being reprimanded by his captor, rather than two friends being reunited after surviving a vicious battle. This points to the mistrust the scouts now feel towards Eren, with Levi telling him that they will only talk after Eren has been tied up. The once wide-eyed and relentless Eren stares back at Levi with unflinching eyes, cold and dead, and the stillness in his gaze reminds Levi of the underworld scum he grew up with. Levi isn't mocking Eren's appearance here like he did initially, he is simply coming to the sad realization that he can no longer trust his greatest weapon in this fight. We learn in this episode that Eren has been operating as a rogue agent of sorts for some time now, and Hanji chastises him for his recent cycle of recklessness, saying he doesn't care how many lives they lose as long as they win. This is in complete contrast to a character like Jean, who can barely stomach the thought of losing 6 soldiers in this fight. While the rest of the scouts take pride in winning their first battle, Jean wonders how many more battles must be fought until the fighting finally ends. Jean, Connie, and Sasha take brief comfort in knowing that the 3 of them have survived yet another battle, which can only mean that one of them is going to die in the next 30 seconds. And boy, this moment would have really hit much harder if it wasn't spoiled for me on a YouTube thumbnail, but it is what it is. People who spoil things in YouTube thumbnails should be sent to the gulag. In a matter of seconds, the mood in the airship changes from celebratory to confused panic. Sasha is shot by Gabi Braun, the same person she showed mercy to during their initial attack. For Gabi, Sasha is just another casualty of war. She will never know what Sasha meant to people like Connie, Jean, and the other scouts, how she was the heart and soul of this group, always finding a way to provide humor in their moments together, simply by being herself. Even after having the moment spoiled for me weeks ago, I was still devastated by Sasha's death. But like Eren, I found myself laughing after hearing her final words. Just like Eren, I was instantly brought back to this moment of Sasha stealing food for her and her friends to enjoy. Attack on Titan is a show that doesn't shy away from the darkness of war, we all know that, but these moments of levity often stand out for how well they are written and how naturally they fit into these characters' stories, especially the moments that include Sasha and her endless cravings for food. Circling back to Eren, just think about everything he's gone through this season. He successfully infiltrated enemy territory. He was reunited with the man who destroyed his home, which led to the death of Eren's mother. He fought against not 1, not 2, but 3 Titans. And he hasn't flinched, not once. Yet hearing these final words spoken by Sasha sends a jolt of humanity through Eren that he probably hasn't felt in years. And his maniacal laughter was just as heartbreaking as the cries of Mikasa, Armin, Connie, and Jean. Eren finally breaks in this moment after Jean tells him that Sasha's death is his fault. Eren was moments away from finishing this fight without losing anyone he cares about. It's one thing to sacrifice nameless allies and innocent civilians while destroying your enemies, but now Eren's feelings of remorse have been awakened by Sasha's death. Gabi wanted to punish Eren for his attack against Marley by taking his life, but Eren's feelings of guilt and responsibility for Sasha's death is a far more severe punishment. Fans were so heartbroken by Sasha's death, so much so that her killer Gabby was trending #2 on Twitter all night after the episode aired. I'm not going to make any effort to understand Gabby or sympathize with her or see her side of things, because I'm in mourning. And I already did that on my review for episodes 1 through 6. We saw this coming. There are no good guys and bad guys in war, only friends and enemies, blah blah blah. She fucking killed Sasha! No, but you have to make an effort to see her side of things, and, she's been through a lot, but still, fuck her. What truly separated Gabby from the other warrior candidates her entire life was her ferocity and passion for fighting. And she reveals in this episode why she always fought so hard. She wanted the world to see Eldians in a positive light, but this dream was destroyed by Eren Yeager and the devils of Paradise Island. Her home inside the internment zone, the home of all the people she cares about, has been destroyed. She takes a moment to remember her lost comrades, Sophia and Yudo, and the Marleyan guards who saved her life. But this only makes her angrier and more confused by her reasons for fighting. While trying to make sense of this chaos, Falco was reminded that there are no simple answers in war. He thinks back to Eren's question for Reiner: why was my mom eaten by a Titan? This question is no different from Gabby asking, why was my home destroyed by Eren Yeager? As Falco says, this is revenge for Reiner's attack. Questioning why these terrible things are happening will only leave you with more questions and further uncertainty. The further back you go, the more complicated this history becomes between these warring nations. Gabby asks Falco if he saw Reiner's attack on Paradise Island, to which he responds no. The easiest thing for them to do in this moment is to ignore these hard truths and press on. Like Reiner, Eren, and all the soldiers fighting in this war, they are trained to do one thing: kill their enemies. And in this moment for Gabby, it's the only thing that makes sense. As Gabby makes her ascent to the airship, she is unexpectedly joined by Falco, who grabs hold of her before she can leave. When asked by Gabby why he did it, Falco responds that he should be the one to inherit the Armored Titan. Why would Falco be worried about who's inheriting the Armored Titan in this moment? It's a futile attempt by Falco to protect his friend, to comfort her, seeing as both of them are flying to their deaths. It's Falco's way of telling Gabby that he cares for her. Gabby's behavior after being restrained in the airship can only be described as demonic. She turns her head upside down, going full Regan McNeil, and begins cursing Jean and the other scouts, proclaiming that her comrades will carry on the will of War Chief Zeke. In one respect, Gabby isn't wrong. The will of War Chief Zeke will continue to be carried out, just not by her comrades. It was very suspicious how easily Zeke, or the Beast Titan, was defeated in Episode 7, but we now know the reason behind his defeat. With less than a year to live, Zeke Yeager has finally revealed his true colors. Like his father Grisha Yeager before him, Zeke is fighting for the opportunity to create a new Eldian empire. A crucial part of his plan was recruiting Yelena, a soldier who was aboard the failed naval scout mission to secure Paradise Island, and also the soldier who trapped Pieck and the other Titans before the battle. Speaking to General Magath, Pieck recalls the first time she saw Yelena, saying she took a special interest in the young soldier due to Yelena's devotion to Zeke. It's that same belief and devotion that Gabby was clinging to in what she believed to be her final moments. After losing her home and her friends, the will of War Chief Zeke was the only thing Gabby had left to fight for. But now even this is proven to be a lie. Zeke and his brother Eren have been working in tangent to bring about their first victory in this war against Marley, and it is Zeke who defends Eren against Hanji's attacks of mistrust, saying the sacrifices today will be paid through Eldia's freedom. Zeke also brings up the fact that they now control a Titan with royal blood, and the Founding Titan. Even if the rest of the world unites to fight against them, Zeke is confident in their odds. The major difference between the Yeager brothers is that Eren's comrades are also his friends. He grew up with this group of soldiers, and even though a lot has changed for Eren, his reaction to Sasha's death proves he still has some humanity left in him. Zeke, on the other hand, appears to be someone who is only fighting for himself, without any real attachment to his former comrades. Yes, he is now helping Paradise Island in their goal to restore the Eldian Empire, but it's more personal for Zeke than the other characters. And for a character like Levi, this makes Zeke untrustworthy. Fans had been eagerly anticipating a rematch between Levi and Zeke in this season, but it now looks like we may watch them fight side by side. Levi, never to be confused as an idealist, still wishes to murder Zeke in cold blood, and in the event that Zeke is a triple agent, Levi will see his wish fulfilled. The tension and trading of insults between these two characters sparks some of the best dialogue of the season, and watching them trade verbal barbs is almost better than watching them spar on the battlefield. And it will be interesting to see how well these two characters work together in their quest to restore the Eldian Empire. My manga sources are telling me that this past episode is the pivot episode for the final season, so I'm very much looking forward to reviewing these final 8 episodes of Attack on Titan, although I've heard that It might not be 16, it could be 24, I don't know. My sources on that aren't so clear, but we will be back next week. I will be joined by Andres and Manny for another Attack on Titan spoiler discussion. So leave your thoughts on this episode of Attack on Titan in the comment section below, Assassin's Bullet, and we'll see you next week, guys.